And hey there, hi there, and ho there, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the Cardinal Couple Radio Hour podcast. Coming to you today with some parameters involved. I'll let Jeff go through those real quickly with you. If you're trying to listen to us live, you figured out by now you can't do that. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, so we are. This is going to be a slightly delayed Cardinal Couple because we are only recording this right now, and I will post it in at a later time. Unfortunately, my internet connection is down today, which it has been down a lot recently in the past week or so. And my backup connection is not performing well enough, likely because I've had to use it so much recently, to be able to do the Skype that we use to talk to each other and the streaming to YouTube at the same time. So we're going to do a recording. I'll capture it and probably wait for my main internet connection to come back up and then upload the recording to YouTube as a recorded show rather than a live stream one. So we'll still do our full show. As far as I know, it should work. I am tethered on my phone, so it is possible it could still fall apart. I hope not. But that's where we are, and that's thus the change today. Apologies for that, but unfortunately unavoidable.
Walking on the tightrope, as it were, for us today on today's show. But hey, we had some fun things and good things happen this week in the realm of University of Louisville athletics. Some wonderful events happening, some big corporate sponsorships and other things. But let's go ahead and as we started out actually the last couple of weeks, let's just kind of catch up on ourselves here real quick before we get into that. I'll begin with me. I had a fairly uneventful week except for working outdoors, doing various projects and things. Certainly trying to get stuff done early in the day so we could beat the heat, and I'm glad that I got a lot out of the way, so I'm not going to have to venture out too much this weekend, which is going to be hot enough to fry an egg on the sidewalk as far as things go. But that pretty well sums it up for me. No great interviews or anything lined up. I did have a nice long talk with Scott Teeter, totally off the record, where we talked about quite a few things, and that was fun. I can't repeat most of it, unfortunately, because I got a lot of inside stuff, but there will be some great things coming out later on in the realm of lacrosse down the road. I can certainly pre-warn you of that. Mr. Jared Anderson with us today. Jared, how was your week?
Pretty much same old, same old. For me, it's still work. We're dealing with everybody's starting to use their vacation days PTO just because we couldn't use it for so long. So we've been running on a skeletal staff for the past week, and it looks like we're going to be doing so for a while. Not a lot with photography lately, trying to get some stuff maybe last minute scheduled this weekend or next week, but just trying to take it slow right now, relax.
Well, hopefully they will be swimsuit shots because it's going to be hot out there, buddy. And also that's pretty pleasing to the eye too, so let's do that as well, right?
Yeah, we'll get you on the Speedo later, Paul. Right?
I was thinking maybe, that's probably going to happen. Standing behind some bushes where you can only see me shoulder up.
Where did I get the eye bleach for that thought?
Yeah, it's just, if you know how to actually paint on your phone, do that. Let's go over to you, Case. What kind of week was it out there in Chevyville?
I took a practice test for my PE last Saturday. I got another one coming up this upcoming Saturday before my test on the 4th, so that took a lot out of me and didn't study much this week. I was also really busy at work, so that was ongoing. Got a new UPS, uninterruptible power supply for my house. I was tired of my power blinking and losing everything. And then of course,
is it whole house?
I didn't do what? No, it's just
okay.
And I've got it on my router and my computer down here.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
And then inevitably, when I didn't want to shut down the internet for a little bit while my wife was working during the workday, it was just sitting on my desk and power blinked. So that was inconvenient that I had it right there within my grasp and still had another power blink and lost. I didn't lose any work, but it's always inconvenient. Just to have everything shut down for just a few moments. But got that installed. It got challenged for the first time yesterday, so that was nice to see it react so quickly. Didn't lose any work because I was in the middle of stuff yesterday. So that was my week. Fun and exciting home technology. And to my internet credit, I cannot get anything other than the internet provider that Jeff is not a fan of, because my very expensive router cannot support the other internet service provider option
Really?
that we have here.
Wow.
Yeah, because AT&T still uses a DSL connection, even when they are doing broadband internet, and the Netgear Nighthawk does not support DSL connection. So
it sounds
okay.
pretty complicated on
Yeah,
your side.
okay.
Jeff's had a lot of fun.
Jeff
with
gets it. Jeff gets
Yeah.
it.
But he's with us today, although we're only here part strength. But so what's going on with this stuff, Jeff? Explain it to the layman here. How come you can't get all the stuff that you need to get?
Yeah, it's just a question of my internet service provider. My connection is down right now. It has been down a lot this week. Their quality has been suffering. I'm very unhappy with them. And I am looking at possibly changing my provider. I've managed to mostly keep it from interfering with my work since I work from home. But it's certainly been a challenge this week for that as well. So my backup is to tether to my phone, my mobile phone, and I'll say the name of my provider on my mobile phone because they've been pretty darn good as T-Mobile. I'm on like an unlimited plan with them. It's not a particularly cheap plan, but it gives me unlimited whatever I want to do anywhere, quite literally in the world, pretty much. The only limitation is that after a certain amount of tethered bandwidth usage, which is what I've been doing a lot this week to get access for my computers through my phone connection, that it's they start throttling you back. So the throttling is enough that I'm not able to do a YouTube live stream while also on Skype. So that's the limitation I'm facing here.
He's got the whole world in his hands.
Yeah. Beyond that, it's near the end of the fiscal year at the company I work for, so lots of work going into planning budgets and hiring possibilities for the coming year, planning, things like that. Personally, my niece Grace, her birthday is today, so happy birthday, Grace. Heading over there for a small family gathering in a few hours to celebrate her birthday. So
sounds great. Socially distance, wear a mask, and drink lots of alcohol. That's what I recommend.
Yeah.
Come to the point of the show here where we traditionally do our scheduling and Twitter information, and Case has been doing an admirable job on that when he's been with us. So I think it's going to fall right back in your lap again, Senor, and go ahead and bring us that information.
Yeah, so from a scheduling perspective, obviously very easy. There's none. pretty slim schedule. But for our Twitter accounts, Polly tweets us at Cardinal Couple, the namesake account of the site here. Jeff tweets us at Card Couple Radio, which I guess you could consider the secondary account of the site, but generally is just Jeff and his sports persona versus Jeff McAdams, his personal Twitter.
Yep.
Jared tweets us at Mr. Anderson Jared. He and I both use our Twitters. We just have the one account. No burners for us. I tweet us at best case scenario.
And none of us have blue checks, so we're all able to tweet through.
We were all safe.
That.
I don't know if we were safe. We may have still been compromised just as much, but we weren't important enough to get Bitcoin scams tweeted from our accounts.
Right.
Well, when I saw Elon Musk, get hacked, I was really worried about mine as well.
Yeah.
People might jump in there and steal all the Cardinal Couple information that we've got out there for you.
Cardinal Couple's got a lot of reach, It's crazy
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you didn't send out a Bitcoin scam to all of our listeners.
Well, actually, I sent mine out in Confederate dollars. You know,
Oh,
I
Oh,
didn't
yeah, okay.
this.
You
That got
know,
Black Lives Matter upset, and there really go. So,
and what's sad about that is whoever those scammers are, they made a lot of money on that. And because you can
oh,
track
they did.
how much, you can't like track it back to individuals, but you can track how much goes across the Bitcoin network. Then there's a lot of money that people sent to that account falling for that scam for just a ridiculously scammy,
low effort scam.
right? I mean, just like send us 1,000 bitcoins and we'll send you 2,000 back. Oh, come on, right?
I saw someone mention that they called it the Schmuck. They had a whole name for it, but the acronym was the Schmuck Theory,
Yeah.
which is that if you ask for a middling amount of money, like say $300 to $500, you will get more suckers to respond to your scam than if you ask for $1,000. But apparently they still had a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah. What was the ask for on that? It was.
Trying to remember.
Yeah.
Well, let me.
I'm thinking with the
Oh,
status.
it said all Bitcoin sent to our address below will be sent back to you doubled. So they didn't ask for a specific amount. Yeah. So.
Well, the last time I Bitcoin, I chipped a tooth, so I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm thinking of this starting actually a penny scam, since it takes 2 cents to make 1 cent anymore, and I've got a pennies lined up. I'm going to start offering to buy people's pennies at a half a cent each, and see if I can just corner the market with that. Jared, how many penny rolls could I get out of your bank?
I can give you unlimited wrappers, but with this penny shortage, we are actually giving out more pennies than we're taking in right now. So we're probably going to hit the 0 mark in pennies within a month if something doesn't change.
I'm sitting on a wealth of them right over here, pal.
Bring them on in. Obviously, gotta be rolled, but bring them on in.
Yeah, all I need is a roll, and then maybe I could hire some, child labor to roll them for me, because that takes a long time. I hate to roll pennies or any type of change, but anyway. All right, boy, Case sent something out here on our chat board here. What the world we got going on here, bud?
Yeah, it's the standard homogeneous maximization under curve calculation, the Schmuck function. And it says that if you ask for less money, you will have more hits of dummies who will give you the money, and then you'll make more.
I guess I better up
simple
mine to
philosophy.
dimes then instead of pennies, huh? I better change my.
Yeah, if you ask for too little, then you'll get a ton of hits but no money. So.
Daggone it. Man, I had such a scheme going. We had some great news hit us in the world of UofL athletics earlier this week, so we might as well go ahead and start there, guys, with the Galt House letting us know that $3.5 million was going to come out of their coffers to the University of Louisville Athletics. A lot of that to be sunk over in the Hoover Center on Floyd Street. In case you happen to be involved in the construction project of all that over there that you had to kind of delay any announcement on. So what's going on with this? Galt House sending money to Louisville? What's up, bud?
Yeah, so the University of Louisville Athletics Department is undergoing a renovation of the Planet Fitness Cougar Center. They just got that name changed last year, I believe it was. The Little Yum got a new namesake from Planet Fitness donation, but they're going to be undergoing a full-scale renovation over there. Increase the athletic training facilities, really nice weight room, new hydrotherapy stuff. For those who don't know, this is the locker room and office building for men's and women's basketball and lacrosse. It's adjacent to the lacrosse stadium, which it sounds like may get a new name from all of this, but really Title IX focused on making the men's and women's sides very equal as far as the floor plan layout goes. Looks really nice. New office spaces, new lounge spaces for both teams. Like I mentioned, significantly improved sports performance areas, and then the lacrosse gets a much more expanded space, as well as their own hydrotherapy stuff. So it should turn out to be a really nice project. May happen in conjunction with another project that's not publicized yet. So we'll see how that goes, but it should be exciting stuff for everybody involved.
And I know lacrosse especially has to be excited about this because their space was so limited and is so limited currently in the Cooper Center right now. It's kind of like in that far back corner over there in the southwest side of the Cooper over there, where you got enough room really to turn around and take one step, and then you're out back in the basketball again. But so tickled for them, but this does not come without some return benefits, of course, for the golf house, like any other deal. All the major luncheon and award ceremonies will be moved from the Marriott downtown to the golf house now. And we've been to some pretty good ones over the years on these guys. And the Marriott was always kind of a comfortable place. It seemed crowded at times for some of them. Jared, you gonna have any trouble getting to the golf house to go to these?
Oh no, golf house is spacious, it's luxurious, so it's a great spot to host these events, especially when you look at how many of your kickoff luncheons and dinners, just how rapidly they're growing in attendance and popularity with fans. We've seen before they've had it at Cardinal Stadium, like you said, the Marriott. You've got competition with the Omni downtown now, so it's nice for the Galt House Hotel to have this deal with UofL, because that's going to be a lot of income that is outside of your normal guests that are staying at the hotel.
Yeah, and if they're going to rename the lacrosse stadium, let's just do a quick one here. What would you like to see it named, Jeff, if they're going to name the lacrosse stadium?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think just the Louisville Galt House Lacrosse Stadium, something like that would work. It's a little mundane, but it honors their gift and their support. Thanks them for their support. So yeah, something like that would be fine, I think.
It'd be a good one. I'd be good with Galt House Stadium on the Bourbon Bar Field. Yes.
Yeah, I don't see that one happening.
You darn well look.
They do have a really good
brings up
bourbon
a
bar
good-
at the Galt House, though.
That brings up a good potential option. The Louisville Lacrosse Stadium has been a mainstay of a name, right? That said, Cardinal Arena was what we thought was pretty untouchable too. So I could potentially see Galt House Field at the Louisville Lacrosse Stadium. Something that keeps that name that's been there for a while and is, pretty straightforward. You can't be fooled of what sport they play there.
And something that Jared and I had kind of bantied back and forth a little bit on is I'd like to see in these plans, as they develop, chances for more viewing from the Cooper Center to watch lacrosse games over there on that south side facade there, where there are windows there where the coaches and others can look out onto the field, maybe and includes a larger patio deck or something like that. And I'd certainly love to see a bigger scoreboard involved for lacrosse.
In a different place, at least.
In a different place, at least. And that I think you can agree with me on both accounts, Jared.
Oh, yeah. You've got so much wasted space, in my opinion, there. You could, as I mentioned in the article, I would love to have a nice video board. You look at all these stadiums and arenas that have these state-of-the-art video boards that even go to Lynn Stadium in an old Cardinal Arena. I mean, you're seeing these everywhere. Even field hockey has a decent one, and then you get the lacrosse, and it's kind of outdated, and the audio system's weak. Just install a nice video board over there up against the Cooper Center. I think that'd be a great place to put it. But then it's also a nice spot where we've talked about you've got the balcony on the second level, that every once in a while you'll see some athletic staff or some student athletes sitting out there. Maybe they don't want to be out in the crowd, or they're nursing an injury, so it's just easier for them to sit up there. I think it's a great spot. You could bring lacrosse recruits as well and sit out there and watch a match or watch a practice.
Some things that could possibly, hopefully, maybe be on the drawing board for all this. We'll find out in due time, of course. Case has got in-house secrets he can't reveal to us, so we may have to bring out torture.
Keeping my lips sealed on all speculation about layouts and everything.
We haven't gone through the torture techniques yet. We will get this information out soon. So certainly great news out of one of Louisville's mainstay flagship hotels, deciding to partner up with the Cardinals big time there. Also received some really good news about track and field and cross country awards in academic pursuits. Case you had a nice write up on that. So it looks like they can not only run, they can study as well, right?
Yeah, Louisville women's track and field and cross country team landed their 16th straight team All-American, academic All-American honor. It requires a 3.25 team cumulative, a 3.0 team cumulative GPA. So the women's team smashed that with a 3.42. Men's team just barely snuck over the line with a 3.05, but they did get it too. But yeah, 16 straight for the women's team, and then 8 individual honorees, which requires a 3.25 personal GPA, and being in the top 96 of your individual sport. So really good for all of these athletes. Like I mentioned, 8. Run through them real quick: Bailey Beery, McKinley Forrest, Alexis Gibbons, Haley Hudson, Gabriella Leone, Orion Viola, Dorcas Wasicki, and Elia Welter. Sorry, got tied up in the white text, threw me off for a second. But yeah, really good to see team members who really contribute for the entire. I think this was for the spring indoor season, but they really contribute for the entire year with track and field and cross country. And to maintain a 3.25 cumulative GPA individually is tough.
And to add to that, track and field is also kind of 2 sports in and of itself, with the winter indoor and then the spring outdoor. So they're kind of, in official NCAA terms, I'm throwing up some air quotes with my fingers here, they're actually some of these people are actually participating in 3 different sports. So
right. Yeah, definitely a year-round commitment.
Certainly good things coming out of them, embodying the phrase student athlete to the full extent for that, no doubt about it. So I had some great news earlier, and actually all the way up to yesterday, for University of Louisville student athlete women's golfer Lauren Hartledge, a graduate student at UofL right now, took part in the prestigious North-South Amateur Tournament down at Pinehurst and made it all the way to the round of 16, pulling off some nice upsets on the way there. One of 2 Cardinal golfers that were enrolled in the event, and unfortunately one did not make the cut, but Lauren did make the cut, barely squeaked in as the 30th seed out of 32 players, and pulled off the biggest upset in the tournament in the first match play sequence, knocking off the number 3 seed in match hole play before falling yesterday. Just more great stuff out of Lauren, right, Case?
Yeah, definitely. And for it to come on the same week as she was awarded with the Edith Cummings Munson Award, a really big upset, like you said, of the 3 seed. Unfortunately, just a tough loss at 3-1, and then her opponent lost the next match 4-3, and then that opponent lost the next match in the semis. So she must have applied a curse down her entire line there after being knocked out. But like you said, a really good performance to finish tied for 29th in the 2 stroke play rounds, advancing, like you mentioned, as the 30th seed. And like I mentioned, the Edith Cummings Munson Award goes to the top GPA earner of players who are upperclassmen that are named to the Academic All-American list and the All-American list. She made it in as a academic honor, or as a All-American honorable mention this year, which made her eligible for the award. She's been an academic All-American all 4 years. She'll probably be at all 5 years. So that's a $5,000 to the General Scholarship Fund at UofL. I'm sure they'll push that over to women's golf in some way. The university will if they can make that happen. So a good award for her.
Certainly, our hats off to Lauren for that. She's also just a wonderful person to talk to. She's very humble about the accomplishments that she's had in her long-standing golf pursuits, not only in high school but in college. Gives a lot of credit to the instructors and the coaches that she's had. And I think one thing that has really impressed me a lot about her is that she is so involved in helping her teammates make their games better in addition to working on her game. So just fantastic. No, fantastic. We love it at Lauren. All right, guys. What's going to happen this fall with conferences? That seems to be the big question that everybody's got going on right now as far as what's going to happen. Jared, what's happened so far? What do you know about here?
We're seeing a lot of the mid-major conferences start to schedule or will actually cancel all of their fall sports. Some of them are just canceling fall sports. Some of them are looking to go ahead and just go through the rest of the calendar year. Here, In-State Center College has gone on and decided that they're not going to play any sports until January 1st at the earliest. Right now, the ACC is kind of just like, we want to play, which I understand the whole we want to play sports because I want to watch sports, but at the same time, it's not the right time to be preparing for sports. I think right now we still need to work on getting the number of positive cases down, working on a cure, and just making sure everybody stays healthy. Because as we see, one person affiliated with a program at any school can shut that entire program down for 2 weeks, like it did with our men's basketball program already.
We don't normally talk football on the show, but some of the aspects of a football Saturday that everybody seems to enjoy quite a bit. Jared, we found out earlier this week that the band, the cheerleaders, and the dance squad will not be performing at any potential football games. Just go a little more into that.
Yeah, all of the cheerleaders and ladybirds, they were told by their coaches yesterday. The marching band students haven't directly found out from their directors, but by word of mouth and information getting released, they're aware that things aren't looking too hot for them, which as of right now, they're debating if they can make it happen where they just don't march at pregame, halftime, go out and do the tailgate bands. They're working on a possibility of maybe resurrecting the season somewhat and just leaving the band sitting in the stands and spread them out. I'm not sure if that's going to work because anybody that's actually been in a music ensemble knows that the more you spread your ensemble out, the more issues you're going to have, especially with the delay in sound. Plus, I think if you're looking at it from an athletic standpoint, you're trying to fit in as many fans as possible and make as much money that you can salvage. You probably want to make a couple of those sections available for fans.
Jeff, it just looks like another bottle of beer on the wall indicating that fall sports aren't going to go down, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, we've had several leagues that have already announced that they're not going to be doing any, and then, you know, I didn't catch which all you mentioned. You had Ivy League, you had Patriot League. We've now had the Atlantic 10. The Horizon League has said nothing before October 1st, which does actually impact at least our volleyball schedule. I'm not sure what else it does, but so, you know, these things are starting to happen. We're starting to see, even without the ECC making a decision, we're starting to see some of our competitions that are going to go away because of decisions by other leagues. I'm becoming more and more pessimistic about fall sports happening at all. You know, Jared, I think you tweeted the other day about, you know, giving it 2 weeks before the announcement comes down from the NCAA level, and I said I give it till Wednesday. So we'll see if that prediction comes true. I think that's what's coming.
Like for it. Like you said, I'd prefer the NCAA just go on and hammer down instead of leaving it up to individual schools and conferences.
Yeah,
Because then you don't have the confusion and then the false hope going on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fragmented stuff going on here right now, and some teams are losing part of their schedule, but not others, and it's real hit and miss. And I do think this is a point where the NCAA needs to step up with some leadership and say, yeah, okay, it's time to make this decision across the whole league, the whole NCAA league, as opposed to individual conferences. I think the writing's on the wall. I don't think we can do fall sports at this point. I'm honestly questioning whether we're going to be able to do winter and spring. One of the things, for example, the Horizon League I was just looking at, which is Northern Kentucky, is in the Horizon League. That's the what would have been now the season opener for UofL volleyball was a tournament at Northern Kentucky. That's will be gone. They haven't updated the schedule yet, but it'll be taken off at some point. They've said, they're the ones that said, well, maybe we do it October 1st. And the Atlantic 10 has said, okay, we're not doing fall sports at all, which is Dayton, by the way, which is another pretty common opponent for us for volleyball. So I think they were on the schedule as well. They're not doing fall sports at all. They are leaving open the possibility of rescheduling until spring. No decision on that. I'm not sure we're going to have spring either, to be honest, the way things are going. Not unless there's a pretty significant change in the way we approach things as a society.
Case, let's look at this in the dollar and cents realm. This is just going to be a disaster for schools like Ohio State, Big Ten, and other schools if football gets banned.
Yeah, I think just first off, the sports that we cover here at Cardinal Couple are significantly more impacted by the announcements that have been coming out from leagues than football. The primary decider by most leagues is that they're just not going to play non-conference games. They say we have control over our conference, we can do what we need to, make some rules that everybody has to follow, which for football that plays 9 conference games out of 12 games total, sure, great, okay, except what about soccer that plays 20 matches and only 11 of them are conference games, or volleyball that is in a similar boat? It's going to hurt the fall non-football sports a lot more just because of the number of non-conference games that they do play. So I think that the more leagues that announce no non-conference schedules are just going to end up axing those sports that are like field hockey going to play 6 conference games. So there's that. And then football, I still think that the writing is on the wall for football. Most leagues have been postponing indefinitely their already virtual media days for football, which if you anticipate having a football season, wouldn't you just have the media day anyway? So I'm not sure what's going on there. But like you mentioned, dollars and cents reporting came out this morning, specifically about the Big Ten. Rutgers, if the football season is canceled completely, probably stands to lose the least in the Big Ten, and they stand to lose $50 million as a school. The entire league looks to lose almost $1 billion. The Big Ten Conference does if they have to cancel the football season. Ohio State, you mentioned in particular, over $100 million. So football is king. They're going to try and play in some way and make those losses less than absolute, but it's going to be tough.
I think it's going to be a situation where we have to see how the virus goes. That seems to be the main concern, and polarized concerns, depending on who you talk to about just how serious this is. People will point to the death totals and use those to their advantage either way. The main thing that we fully have to realize and be concerned of is the health and safety of the student athlete, the college kids that are out there doing this kind of thing. But guys, to be quite honest with you, the NCAA once again is showing a very, very small, minute, non-essential lack of leadership in this. I mean, this is the NCAA. They can be very proactive on things like handing out probations and sanctions and things like that to individual teams. But where are they in this issue? What's going on, Jeff? Where is the NCAA here with some mandates?
I wish I had an answer. I've been pretty open about my contempt for the NCAA as an organization, and they're certainly not doing what they need to do here, in my opinion. Just a note where you were talking about people looking at death rates, and we've said this before, but just looking at the number of people who are dying from COVID is a really short-sighted view on this. We're finding pretty conclusively that COVID-19 has impacts that are significant and life-changing, even for that are not necessarily deadly, right? It attacks many internal organs and internal systems. It can really screw up your life in a lot of ways, really be life-changing. I'll point out one. I know Lindsay Goff, is that how you pronounce her last name? Was with Spectrum TV?
Golf.
Yeah.
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 I don't know if it's golf or go, but
yeah, I don't know how you pronounce her last name. My apologies. She's been battling it. She's been in the hospital for a couple of days, and she's been posting on Twitter about it. And her doctors are telling her that there are these damage to her internal organs, and that this will probably affect her for a very long time, if not for life, in some pretty negative ways. So, yeah, you need to really be taking it seriously beyond just looking at death totals and looking at those as abstract numbers. Yeah, I don't know. I'm frustrated, but it is what it is, and this is where our society is right now.
I think one of the things that people really need to see is stories like that get more publicity to understand, like, this is not a two outcome situation.
It's not binary.
Don't die or be fine, right? Like,
yeah.
Von Miller, one of the greatest athletes in the world, he's asthmatic, sure, so you can call that a simultaneous condition if you want, but he got the virus, and he said that weeks after he tested negatively for the virus and didn't have it anymore, he was still struggling to breathe in conditioning drills. One of the best athletes in the world. There's a common theme going around now that if you're healthy and you get it and you're in good shape, you're going to be completely fine. And that just the science doesn't appear to bear that out. And it seems that a lot of people are looking for reasons to just foo things away, and they'll jump on any opportunity to do that, and not similarly jump on any opportunity when their view of it is challenged. So it's tough to see us put people in a position, college athletes in particular, to put them in a position that they can't make their own decisions and are being paraded out as entertainment. In particular, I'm thinking of not just college athletes, but the WNBA declining Elena Delle Donne's request for medical waiver. I think that was completely Bush League. I've seen other leagues that are willing to take a lot less of a reason to opt out than hers and honor that. So shame on the WNBA completely. And I wish that they would have made a different choice.
Agree with that 100%. I think I saw where she was taking like 70-some pills a day just to combat the Lyme disease. I mean,
64,
that's just,
but yeah.
God, that's just ridiculous.
Only 64, right?
Yeesh.
Yeah.
I mean, I just, God, think about your stomach lining. Whoa.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I've got a 17-year-old daughter or son, let's say here. Do I allow this daughter or son of mine to go to college and participate in athletics? I've got to say no. Let's take it around the table. Jeff, you've got that 17-year-old out there that wants to go play field hockey. What's your advice to him?
I mean, right now, no. Do conditioning drills individually, but don't get out in a practice environment with a bunch of other people. I don't think it's a reasonable risk to take at this point. It's, we're looking at a potentially life-changing disease, if not deadly. So, no, I would say don't do this. I think as a 17-year-old, I would want to let them have a lot of their own input into it, but we'd certainly be counseling in that direction.
Jared, you in agreement with him?
I wouldn't be letting my kid do anything. It's It's too dangerous to be out there, especially playing sports where you're kind of all up on your teammates, your opponents. You're sweating a lot. Uh, you know, usually when you're yelling across the field, you're probably spitting a little bit. A lot of different sports do come with some injuries sometimes and some scrapes and cuts, so you may be seeing a little bit of the spread of blood here and there too. I'm not wanting my kid to get out in the middle of everything and potentially catch the virus just because they're playing a sport. I'm telling them, sorry, you're sitting out a year. You can still do your workouts and practices at home individually. And when we can figure this thing out, which hopefully we should have it somewhat figured out within a year, you get back out there and you can play with the team again.
Case, you with these guys?
Well, yeah, I think a lot of the focus is on the health of athletes in particular. When you discuss schools, you look at the health of kids that is discussed. But I mean, there have been, albeit anecdotal, but specific cases where I believe it was in Missouri was the summer camp, I believe, that had a huge outbreak. And then there was another story, I can't remember which state it was in, but a daycare where one positive case at a daycare led to 10 people in 6 different families getting sick. I mean, you're talking about a virus that can spread exponentially, and just because it doesn't affect some specific group of people, it doesn't mean that those specific group of people who, while it won't affect them as far as their health seems to be, it can infect them, and then they can then infect others. So I think that the population health as a whole is more important to look at in some situations than the specific health of the people that we are questioning. So no, if I was of the age that I had a 17-year-old kid, then I would not want my kid to go play sports because of my own health concerns as much as theirs.
There you have it, listeners. Interesting times ahead for us as we wait to see what's going to happen with the virus that has no feelings, emotions, or mindset. It doesn't discriminate. It doesn't pick out or target. It just hits everybody. And that's what it does. Okay, well, guys, we do have a quiz for you today as we roll into that part of the show. A quiz that we have 3 participants in. We haven't been there in a while. Jared back to defend his title. Case after a week off, and he was studying for the quiz this week. Don't let him kid you about studying. He was cramming for that. Jeff has been trying so hard here recently and been getting in there and doing well. This is going to be a big battle today. I'm surprised that Fox Sports 2 isn't, monitoring this thing. But
it's on ESPN 8, the Ocho.
Is it? Okay. In some cases, I would have figured either Lifetime or the Comedy Channel for this thing. Okay. Today's quiz. Taking the quiz at home, please remember that you get 10 points for each correct answer. And if you take the bonus, you get 20 points. But if you miss the bonus, you lose 20 points, and you can choose not to take the bonus. Your quiz matter today is ACC women's basketball. Yes, ACC women's basketball.
See you guys in last place.
Well, this one's going to be a little rough, I think.
Oh, and I've made it tough, too. So you guys are going to be moaning and griping into your beer.
Winning score of 60 incoming.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. Question number 1. Which ACC WBB squad had the best overall road record in 2019-2020? Which one of the ACC WBB teams played the best on the road in road games? Was it A, Miami, B, Louisville, C, North Carolina State, or D, FSU? We will start with you, Case. Your
I'm going to say, was it overall road schedule or ACC road schedule?
overall road schedule, overall road record.
I'm Still gonna stick with Louisville.
Going with the Cards he is. Jared, your thoughts?
I don't know. I feel like we lost a lot of our games this year. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe NC State.
He's going to choose NC State. Jeff, your thoughts?
Can you run through those options one more time?
Miami, Louisville, NC State, and Florida State.
Man, yeah. I think I'm gonna go with Louisville, but I think there's a possibility it's Florida State is the other option.
We've got the answer of C, NC State. They were 10-1 overall on the road, only losing once on the road in 11 games, guys. Jared picks up the points here. We'll go to question number 2. Which one of these schools did not finish in the top 4 of the ACC conference standings in women's basketball? I'm going to give you 4 schools. Which one of the 4 did not finish in the top 4? Is it A, Duke, B, Virginia Tech, C, Louisville, or D, Florida State? Case, you're on the bat here. Duke, Virginia Tech, Louisville, or FSU. Not in the top 4.
Ooh, this is harder, I think, than it should be. I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech.
He takes Virginia Tech. Jared, you going to go with that, or are you going to go with something else?
I know it wasn't us, obviously, because we won the ACC. But I was kind of thinking Virginia Tech too, because I know that was like was that senior day for us, I think.
Yeah, we had a senior day. Your point?
Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with Virginia Tech. I felt like for some reason that was one of those that we talked about if BT was gonna get the single or double bye based off their game with us. I felt like we had talked about that in post
He's
game.
going with that Blacksburg school. Jeff, these guys are on Virginia Tech. You with them?
Yeah, God, I'm trying to choose between Virginia Tech and Duke. I was thinking that Duke fell just outside of the top 4.
I think they were 4-5. I think he's made it extremely challenging.
Yeah.
There's like a 5-team, 6-team race or something, wasn't there? Kind
Yeah.
of for like the 4th place spot.
Yeah, there was
So
a lot right on the cusp of that.
He picked Duke.
You
Yep.
going Duke?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It did come down, in fact, to the last regular season game, and it was a battle, but it was Virginia Tech who finished 6th in the standings. Duke snuck into 3rd, and
It was close.
of course won the league. So if you had Virginia Tech as Case and Jared did, you got that one correct.
I knew 3 of the top 4 were Louisville, Florida State, and NC State.
Yeah.
And I
mean,
could
Duke
not.
took-
I was pretty sure Duke was the 4th of the top 4, but
Yeah, I couldn't remember for sure.
exactly.
Duke
Yeah.
was a team that got hot at the end of the conference season and climbed into that top 4, and then fell flat on their face in the ACC tournament and subsequently made a change. We go to question number 3. Only Jared remains perfect so far after 2 questions. Hope you're doing well at home. If we were in the McCavish Pavilion, what campus would we be on, guys? In the McCavish Pavilion, would we be at Georgia Tech? Would we be at North Carolina State? Would we be at Clemson, or would we be at Boston College? Where would we be? Case, where are we?
You didn't say the one I thought it was. Can you go through them again?
A, Georgia Tech, B, North Carolina State, C, Clemson, D, Boston College, the McCavish Pavilion.
You were even saying it in an Irish accent. I was like, man, he's really giving it away. I'm gonna go with Georgia Tech.
He's going to take the rambling wreck. Jared, what do you think about this? Georgia Tech, North Carolina State, Clemson, or Boston College?
I have No idea. I was like, this sounds like one that we've never really talked about much before. I mean, I guess maybe Boston College.
He's going with Boston College. That leaves it up to you, Jeff. Are you going in a different direction, or do you agree with one of these guys?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, but not certain, that is Georgia Tech.
He's taking Georgia Tech. And it is Georgia Tech, nestled in the middle of the campus. I had the chance to go there a couple years ago and watch Louisville win a last-minute thriller against the Tech. Maisha Hanzel with 4 points in the final minute to win that game. One of the worst press facilities in the ACC I might had, and the food was equally horrible.
Oh, it's an old high school gym. Literally, they bought it from a high
Pretty
school.
much. Yeah, it is. And
I believe
we went in to watch the Cardinals practice that day and had to sneak in through the kitchen because they had everything hooked up.
I believe
All right.
Clemson and Boston College both play in the same gyms as their men's basketball teams.
Clemson is the Little John.
Mhm.
Yes, a great facility there. And of course, NC State plays in their renovated Reynolds Coliseum down there. Beautiful facility too, guys. We've gone through 3 questions. Each one of these guys has a X next to their name, and we're going to now.
Jeff has 2 of them.
As I say, I think I got 2.
Jeff,
I was
Jeff's
trying
got
to be
2 of them.
kind here.
Yeah.
You do. He's right. You do have AX names.
Right.
Yeah,
Doesn't really capture the problem here, but yeah.
there could be another one there. Yeah. Okay. This time we'll switch up the order. We'll start with Jared. We'll start with Jared for question number 4 and go to Jeff and Case. Question number 4 is, who was the ACC leading scorer in women's basketball last year? I'm going to give you 4 players. Which one was the leading scorer in the league? Was it A, Haley Gorecki, B, Dana Evans, C, Kiara Gillespie, or D, Jocelyn Willoughby? Which one of these 4, Jared, led the league in scoring? Gorecki, Evans, Gillespie, or Willoughby?
I know it wasn't Dana. I'm pretty sure it's Jocelyn Willoughby with Virginia, right?
Going with Jocelyn.
Right? Yes, after he's the first person to answer. Is that right?
And I'm not going to give you the answer just yet because there's 2 more contestants here. But I will mark your answer down as D, Willoughby. Jeff, what do you think?
I was thinking Gorecki.
He's going to go with Haley Gorecki out of
Yeah.
Duke. And Case, out of these 4, who do you think the leading scorer was?
I was thinking Kunane, and then she wasn't even on the list. So
Yep, sorry
Yeah.
about that. She didn't quite make it there.
I think I also think it was Gorecki of the 4 that were listed.
Going with that Duke star Haley Gorecki. But the answer is D, Jocelyn Willoughby of Virginia. She averaged 19.2 points a game and had a total of 576 points to narrowly beat out Haley Gorecki, guys. So, Jocelyn
So what was Gorecki at then compared to Willoughby?
Gorecki was like 19.1 and like 25 points behind her. So it was pretty close.
Wow. So it was that's like 1 game differential.
Yeah, and I think that actually Duke had 2 more games on their schedule than Virginia did as well. So, because they, All right. 2 X's on that one. It's just not going well for you guys in this quiz at all. I made it tough.
It is tough. Yeah.
I told you, winning score of 60 incoming.
Question number 5. Who led the ACC WBB in made 3-pointers? Who led the ACC WBB in made 3-pointers? Was it A, Dana Evans, B, Aisha Shepard, C, Ace Koenig, or D, Kendall Spray? Jared, you're on the bet. Evans, Shepard, Koenig, or Spray? Who led the ACC in threes?
I'm sticking with our Cardinal. I'm going Dana there.
He's taking Dana Evans. Jeff, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think it was Dana. I'm gonna guess Spray, who I think is out of Clemson, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Very good ball player down there. Case, you got two different answers facing you here. Are you going to go with one of those two or a third choice? Evan
No,
Shepard, Koeniger Spray.
I'm going with Ace.
Going with the
So
Ace
C.
Koenig. C, that North Carolina State majestic three-point shooter. But the answer is A. Dana Evans had 93s for the season. That's an average of 3.0 a game, guys.
Wow.
You
Okay.
gotta live. So Jared gets the one correct. Case takes his third X. Jeff has got one more than that.
Yeah.
All right, question number 6, and Jared, this will be your last time to go first, okay? Where is Boston College located? Is it A, in Boston, B, in Newton, C, in Chestnut Hill, or D, in Lowell? Where is Boston College located? Boston, Newton, Chestnut Hill, or Lowell? Which
I
city?
know it's not Boston itself. I feel like, at least for football purposes, they play in Chestnut Hill. So I don't know if the whole school is there, or if it's just football. But I'm going to stick with Chestnut Hill.
He's climbing the hill. Jeff, you going to climb the hill with him, or are you going elsewhere?
Yeah, I believe it's Chestnut Hill. Yes.
In case these guys are on a hill, you going to join them?
Yeah, pretty sure they've got an on-campus football stadium, which is why they hosted the lacrosse tournament. So, yeah, I'm going with Chestnut Hill.
Everybody's looking for chestnuts on the hill, and everybody is correct. It is C, Chestnut Hill, about 7 miles outside of Boston proper. Very nice football facility, too, up there. All right, they all got that one right. Everybody wipes their brow in relief as we go into question number 7. Jeff, you'll start us out this round. You'll be followed by Case and then Jared, okay?
Okay.
Question number 7. Which of these players is not on the Louisville women's basketball roster? I'm going to give you 4 players. Which one is not on the basketball roster?
Okay.
Is that like of this morning?
Yeah, because that's when I looked. So that'll work. Is it A, Malaya Williams, B, Marissa Russell, C, Alana Batson, or D, Alana Smith? Is it Williams, Russell, Batson, or Smith, Jeff?
Lana Batson.
He's going with Batson, C. Case, does that make sense to you?
I'm like 100% sure Jared knows this, so I will tip my hand and say that Lana Batson is a backup goalkeeper for women's soccer. So yeah, she's not on the basketball team.
Jared, the arrow was pointing one way. You gonna follow it?
Yeah, I mean, that one is pretty straightforward. Case is right that Lana Batson is the backup goalkeeper for our
The
soccer team.
guys
So,
are
yeah.
correct indeed with that answer. That's what Lana does, and does it quite well.
I mean, she might be good at basketball. I have no idea, but she's not on the team.
Yeah.
I wanted to build up a little confidence in the guys here, listeners, as we move into the.
Should have made that question 1. Really, give me riding high.
Yeah.
Instead of a
Yeah. False sense of
upper on the first one.
false sense of security on that. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
No, we wanted you to take your punishment first and then get some meager rewards at the end of the quiz. Question number 8 coming up. How many states are represented on the 2021 UofL women's basketball roster?
Jeez.
How many states are represented? Is it 6, 7, 8, or 9 states?
United States or any states?
I was gonna say, are we including international stuff here?
United States, guys.
Just United
Okay.
States. Okay, that's what I figured, but just
United
clarify.
Relevant question.
Yeah.
That relevant question duly answered.
Yeah.
Jeff, you're up.
Goodness.
What are the options?
6, 7, 8, or 9.
Yeah.
You run out of fingers, go to your toes.
Thinking here. This is something of a guess because there's no way I'm going to be able to count through them all. I'm going to say 7.
Jeff goes with 7. Roll was a lucky number 7 with this dice. Case 6, 7, 8, or 9.
You could do some reverse math, but I wasn't very good at it, so I'm just gonna go with 8.
He's going to take the 8. Jared, you got 2 different answers here. You agree with one of those 2, or you going elsewhere?
I was trying to, like, Case was doing the reverse math. I know we had a couple international ones, and then we have a few Kentuckians. So, yeah, I think 8 sounds about right.
He likes 8 also. Let's name them off, and you can count along on your fingers. You've got California, Indiana, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Washington, Texas, and Georgia. 8.
8.
Count them. 8
right.
states.
I knew it was multiple from Kentucky, multiple from California, and then the 2 internationals, but I couldn't think of how many players were actually on the team, so then all of that didn't help me at all.
That's one of the most detailed explanations for a correct answer I've ever heard in my life.
Correct
You got
guess.
it right.
Yeah.
Detailed explanation for a correct guess.
I think we're sitting at like 14 or 15 on the roster.
I think we've got 14 on the roster right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to question number 9, Jeff. This will be your last time to go first. Which of these ACC schools did not play Louisville twice in the 1920 season? I'm going to give you 4 schools. Which one of them did not play Louisville twice in women's basketball?
Okay.
A, Syracuse, B, FSU, C, Notre Dame, or D, Pittsburgh. One of these schools did not play Louisville twice in the ACC schedule. Which one is it?
Yeah, I don't really remember. I'm going to guess Pittsburgh. I don't think we did home and home with them.
He's going with the Panthers. Pittsburgh is his answer. Case, how's that sound to you?
I need you to run through them real quick again, because what happened was no one else was as shocked by the question as me, because you said 1920 and I thought you meant 1920, not 2020. So I was not paying attention to the answers at all, because I thought
Oh, and then I'd have to put in Center and Oberlin and Transylvania.
I was like, do we have a women's basketball team in 1920? Is the answer none? Like,
Yeah.
So, okay, we have the question again, please.
Which of these ACC schools did not play Louisville twice in the 1920?
You're saying it again.
2020 season, okay? Is it A, Syracuse, B, FSU, C, Notre Dame, or D, Pittsburgh?
I think it's Syracuse.
He's going to go with Syracuse. Jared, 2 different answers staring you. You like either one of these, or you got your own?
Are we talking just regular season, or are we including the tournament?
We're including the tournament.
Ew. Well, I know it's not Syracuse because we did the home and home with them, where the home team won each time. Felt like we played Notre Dame twice, and I know we lost to Florida State in the regular season and the tournament. So what was the 4th option?
You had Syracuse,
Yes.
FSU, Notre Dame, and Pittsburgh.
Oh, Pitt? I don't know.
He doesn't know, but he's going to say Pitt. But the answer is Syracuse.
Did not
We
have a home
actually
with them.
played Syracuse 3 times.
Oh,
3
we
times.
played them first round in the tournament. We did have a home with them.
Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot.
I wasn't thinking
that.
about tournament games, yeah.
Went 2-1 against them, losing, of course, to them in the midst of that losing streak we had in the middle of the season, but then turn around and whopped them in the first round of the ACC tournament.
Yeah, we were on the way back from Cincinnati. Remember?
We sure were, and saw that, and we're very happy about that. Not. Okay, we go into question number 10. Just take a look at the board here real quickly. I'm seeing Case with a total of 1, 2, 3 incorrect answers. I'm looking at Jared. He's got 2 incorrect answers. Jeff is also participating as we go into question.
Fair enough. Fair comment.
Question number 10. The new head women's basketball coach at Notre Dame is A, Wes Moore, B. Nicole Ivy, C. Carol Lawson, or D. Joanna Burnaby McNamee? Jared, you'll go first this time.
At Notre Dame.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Who is the new
Oh, no.
women's basketball head coach at Notre Dame?
You were thinking Duke.
I was also thinking that Muppet McGraw was still the head coach at Notre Dame.
No,
so
she
we're having
resigned.
bad
She retired.
Yeah.
That's why I
She
said
retired.
new head coach. Kate.
Yeah.
New head coach at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Is it Wes Moore? Is it Nicole Ivy? Is it Carol Lawson? Or is it Joanna Burnaby McNamee? Jared, your answer, sir.
I know it's not Wes Moore, and I know we just talked about Carol Lawson because we were talking about Duke recently. I thought it was Ivy. I thought they announced when Muppet had retired / forced to resign or whatever their decision official press release was.
He's built a strong argument for Ivy here, guys. In case you agree with him.
Well, I do remember talking about Burnaby McNamee, but I don't remember if it was for the Notre Dame job, as we were talking about her previous work and how she would have a better pool of players, but that might not have been for Notre Dame. So I'm going to go with Ivy as well.
He's climbing the Ivy as well. Jeff, these guys are up on the Ivy. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to gain on them because I'm pretty sure it's Ivy.
And it is Ivy. Wes Moore, of course, at North Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
Carol Lawson, the new head coach at Duke. And Joanna Burnaby McNamee, who won ACC Coach of the Year, is at Boston College.
Mm-hmm.
Boston College.
She's relatively new up there, I believe, as well, right?
Ooh, what are we
Second
talking
season she won
Yeah.
that ACC
Yeah.
Coach of the Year. Good things in store for the Eagles up there, perhaps, as we go on. Nicole Ivy, best of luck to her. We go into the bonus round now. We know the pretty much status here. We have to have the question or two right now. Case, will you take the bonus question?
Yeah.
He's looking at a total score right now as he goes into the bonus of 70. Jared, will you take the bonus question?
Oh yeah, I mean I can't let Case leapfrog me.
Jared's at 80. He's taking that bonus question. Jeff, you're sitting a little bit back
irrelevant.
at this
Yeah, I'll take the bonus question. Not that it's going to matter.
He's taking the bonus question. Not that it's going to matter in his words. You just never really know. Your bonus question is, which school led the ACC women's basketball in scoring in the 2019-20 season? Who led the ACC WBB in scoring in the 2019-20 season? Jeff, you'll go first this time.
Wait,
Your
did we already
choices.
have this question?
This is team or
Which
individual?
school?
This
This
is
is
team.
School. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Which school, Case? Listen to
Sorry.
the
I'm
question
sorry.
completely before
Sorry.
we have it.
Sorry.
Very good.
Sorry. It's Jocelyn Willoughby, okay? She led the league in scoring. We
Yeah.
talked about it. It's question
For
number 2.
those of you who do not have Case's capacity for short-term memory, the question again, which school led the ACC WBB in scoring in the 2019-20 season? Your school choices, Jeff, are A, North Carolina, B, Louisville, C, Boston College, or D, NC State. Who led the ACCB in scoring?
Yeah, this is mostly a guess. I'm going to say, I know we had a pretty high-powered offense, so I'll go with us, Louisville.
He takes the Cardinals, answer B. Jared, North Carolina, Louisville, Boston College, or NC State? Where are you at?
I'm trying to think. I feel like us would be almost too obvious of an answer. So I was just trying to run through my head maybe some close games we had, or high-scoring games we may have had with people. But even then, I don't know. The season's been too long ago.
Oh,
I
this
don't-
is prefacing to an answer, I feel fairly certain.
I don't know. Well, I don't think North Carolina even had a winning record, so I'm going to scratch them out. I'm going to go with Boston College.
He's going to take Boston College, the Eagles. Case, North Carolina, Louisville, Boston College, or NC State?
Jocelyn Willoughby. Oh, wait, no.
Jocelyn Willoughby. Gee, Jocelyn Willoughby.
Nicole Ivy.
But I am gonna go with D NC State because I'm pretty sure they beat up on some people this year, and
Yeah.
Louisville had a couple of clunkers.
Yeah. That was my second
State had
choice.
a very good season. Louisville and North Carolina both did as well, but it was Boston College.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boston College was 73.7 points a game.
That's why she won. That's why she won Coach of the Year.
358 points. That's why she won that title. That's why they were a much improved team. Boston College was the correct answer. As Jared
60 incoming final winner, except he gets 100 after everything.
defends his title, still gets 100 after a very exceptionally tough quiz.
It was tough. Good job, guys.
If the answer hits
You-
NC,
You all did very well.
UNC.
I, on the other
That
hand,
one had me sweating a few times.
Jeff participated in the quiz as well. We'll certainly give him a participation
Yeah.
trophy later, despite Jeff Walls' disapproval later. Okay. Yeah, we toughened it up on you a little bit.
50% is an A in a specific physics professor's class at UofL. So
yeah.
take it.
And I couldn't even knock Jared down to double digits as he goes triple on me again. Damn it, man. Fellas, fun time on the
Made me
quiz.
sweating on that one. Yeah.
Doubtful. Let's go to some final thoughts, shall we? Jared, you won the quiz. I'll let you start with the final thoughts for today.
I don't really have much other than, just use common sense when you're out and about, and don't complain about putting on a mask to go in a store for 10 minutes. It's for the greater good, not individuality at this point.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. Very good, sir. Case, final thoughts there?
It's been pretty hot recently, so friendly reminder to drink water.
Yeah, that's very good. Stay hydrated, because heat and dehydration can hit you very, very quickly in triple-digit temperatures, kids, with high humidity. No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Jeff, final thoughts?
We mentioned earlier that Case and I, did we mention this during the show or was it pre-show? Case and I, as engineering types, are kind of mourning the loss of Grant Imahara from Mythbusters. This is completely off topic of Cardinal couple, but also a couple of other deaths just announced last night from involvement in the civil rights movement. C.T. Vivian and Senator John Lewis both passed away last night, so those are big losses to our society, our culture as well. So just some thoughts for those folks and their families.
Absolutely. John Lewis was a pioneer in the civil rights movement in the 60s and did a lot of things. Was one of the original six with Martin Luther King down in Selma.
As was C.T. Vivian along with him, yes.
Yes. And as one idiot mentioned on Facebook, boy, you mean that John Lewis who does the sports on WDRB? No, not the same guy, kids.
Yeah.
Okay. Final thoughts here. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen on the 20th of this month, just a couple of days away, because that is going to be when coaches are going to be allowed to start working again with their student athletes. They've been pretty much dependent on the training and the conditioning staffs up to now, besides the Zoom calls, things of that nature. On the 20th, it's back to where they can meet and talk with them and watch them practice. We'll see how it goes given the COVID caution that's out there in our society. But I know that there are a whole lot of coaches down on the UofL campus that have got the 20th circled in big, big red circles on their calendar. So, with that in mind, Jared has been promising us a euphonium solo on our closing song. What do you got, Jared Bright?
Still hanging out up at my parents' house. It hadn't been touched in a few months, so I'm pretty sure the valves and slides are a bit dried up at the moment.
We're going to have to buy a case of kazoo and have him practice in addition to his PE exam so he can play Look What We Can Do Louisville. But, hey, good show, guys, today. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll catch you next week. And, everybody, please stay safe out there. Be careful. And go ahead and wear a mask. It's the right thing to do right now, okay?
Yep. Thank you.